Did you know that giants currently exist? We're talking about a human species known as the nephilim that can be an average of 10 feet tall, have 2 more fingers than us, and it's not Tommy. Welcome to Soul Spy University, where your souls can run free and your minds are free to expand. This mind expanding, blowing episode is brought to you by yours truly. Yes, each and every like you do is amazing karma for you, as well as tells YouTube that you like mind expansive topics such as this, and it helps grow our small little channel, which we appreciate so much on your part. And if you don't want to miss the next mind expanding episode, please be sure to subscribe and join our family, as well as check out all our playlists. And sharing is absolutely phenomenal, as you could help expand the minds of others. This is amazing, Tommy. I cannot wait to dive right into this story. So we're just going to dive in right now. This is amazing. Please do tell of these actual reports. And just so you guys know, we would never post anything that we know is fake. And if we do know something is fake, we will let you know. But mostly we just won't post it. But when we let you know, we'll get in big trouble for letting you know, apparently. But anyway, go ahead.
So unfortunately, Christina has coaxed me into telling the secrets of my people, and this is one of the stories. This is the Giants of Kandahar. So back in 2002, during Operation Enduring Freedom, there was a military team who was tasked to find another military team that had gone out on patrol, and they had gone missing, and there'd been radio silence and everything. So obviously they thought maybe they were, taking fire or something happened, they ambushed, whatever. So this whole story is coming from a guy who is only known as Mr. K. He was part of this operation. He's not allowed to show his face, not allowed to say his true name. I'll get to that later, why. So anyway, Mr. K explains that him and his special operatives team went searching for this missing patrol. And they were in the mountains of Kandahar. And so they had the last beacon as to where the patrol was, so they had a good starting point. When they were going there, it was like a steep mountain. There was, like a few goats here and there and all that stuff. And what they found was a goat path, like just like a rugged little path. And as they followed it, they came upon this massive cave. And in the opening of the cave was military equipment that was completely destroyed, but also bones, lots of bones.
Bones.
Not just, yes, animal and human bones.
Wow.
Were found scattered throughout the entrance. So they thought this must be either wolves or whatever the hell other animals they have up there, or or maybe they're ambushing them or something crazy. But as they were thinking this, they heard this massive roar, and this 12 to 15 foot man came charging out, holding a huge metal makeshift spear and just brandishing at them.
God, so I was wrong about the 10 feet, guys. Much taller. Go ahead.
Yeah, much taller. And so what they noticed is that the man, first of all, had a red beard, red hair, red everything, and smelled like death. He reeked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wafted off of him from far away.
Got it.
So one of the soldiers, known as Dan, they're not specifying it, panicked and opened fire.
Not cool, Dan. Not
So poor Dan, who opened fire first, was immediately speared through
okay.
by the giant. And once that happened, the rest of the team began firing. Now they were firing for some time, and then finally they were like, shoot it in the damn face. They, they were firing on this thing for like 30 seconds or more. Then it finally went down. Like, if you think about it, it takes a split second for a bullet to do anything to a human.
right.
30 seconds of bullets from automatic machine guns by a whole team is like insane. So they finally took it down, and they called their unit. They called their commanding whatever. Sorry, I'm not a military person. I don't know what the hell and they were ordered to remain there, remain by the body. Helicopters came, other soldiers came, and they were ordered to, I'm sorry, not other soldiers, just helicopters came. They were ordered to put the body into a massive net type thing and tie it to the helicopter so we can take it off. After which, they were debriefed. They were told that their after action report is to be modified to completely ignore saying that this never happened, like there was no giant, there was no, they never saw it. It was not the reason for the other team's disappearance. It was not the reason for Dan's death. And then following that, they would have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which I didn't know the military had towards just soldiers. Thought that was a business thing. And that they could not speak of it. So after like Mr. K came out and started talking about this, other people started coming out, started saying it. Other military guys started saying it. Granted, they all had like initials to their names and their face was blurred. But one guy who came out said that he was a helicopter pilot that took the body, and that they were ordered to take the body directly to a ship and drop it off, and then go whatever. He said that because of the way it was weighed, because of the way they lifted and all that stuff, he said that the body must have weighed up to 1,500 pounds. He saw it. He saw, yes, it had 6 fingers, 6 toes. He saw that it was massive. And he said, yes, this happened. This absolutely happened.
Wow. Where did they drop him off?
They dropped him onto a ship who took it somewhere.
Yeah, I thought, okay, so we don't know where the ship took the giant ginger.
No. It's somewhere, it's probably under some area, whatever base, and being dismembered and studied.
This is nuts. And this happened in 2002?
Yes.
Wow. So they know stuff by now.
Oh, yeah. So then again, in 2016, the story got around so much that in 2016, during a press conference for the Department of Defense, it was brought up by a news organization. It's like, we were told that there was a military operation in Kandahar where a unexplained entity, this large giant, had attacked a special operatives unit and killed one of their soldiers and possibly more for soldiers that had disappeared. Can you please elaborate on this and tell us about it?
Yeah.
And which they denied ever knowing anything about it, denied ever knowing about anyone disappearing or stuff like that. Which, it goes to how normal stuff usually goes. when it comes to the military.
Of course.
But there's not too much more past that. Mr. K has not spoken in a while. um, so hopefully he's still alive. And not many more stories have been coming out about this.
Of course not. Try different search engines, guys. That's all I could say about that. But this is fascinating. I mean, that's amazing. Obviously, he wasn't the only one to exist. He can't just pop out of nowhere at a 13, 16 feet tall, giant ginger with extra appendages. He obviously had a mom at one point, and I guess then a dad. I doubt these things lay eggs. And even so, a dad. So that means, and then it's like, where did they come from? So there's whole societies that may have been discovered when the government traces back to where they found said giant gingers, etc., that we have yet to hear anything about. We are only grateful to know things on the surface that we know on other topics. But, we quote unquote know what we know regarding UFOs and aliens because we happen to have a sky. But supposedly there's so much more that we don't know. And with the nephilim, they're hidden in caves in the woods. And think about all the missing people that can't all be from aliens or whatever we're all wondering at this point. That's a whole other podcast we have to be doing. But now we have the nephilim, which if we were a little nicer to, maybe we'd be friends with. But anyway, you were saying, Tommy.
So yeah, what they're thinking that it might be the nephilim. Now, what the nephilim are is they're mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, and they say in the Bible that they're large beings that are very strong. There's not much about it. They're large beings that are very strong, very proud, and helped people. And they're only mentioned twice in the Bible. And all that it says is that they're known as sons of God and daughters of man. So maybe this has an alien type thing situation where aliens are the god and man is man, and they impregnated women, and all of a sudden these giants pop out. Who knows?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And what it also says is that they were here before the flood, the Great Flood, and then they were here after the Great Flood, and that they will be here throughout time.
Wow.
And that's all it said about the Nephilim. There's stories about all these massive things that get built in, like the Egyptian tombs, the pyramids, what am I thinking here? Those giant rocks. Oh, why am I blanking? The giant rocks. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But all these things that men could not have done, men could not have created or put together in their time. There's speculation that they were helped by these creatures.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first things I thought of when you said that, it said in their Bible that they were helpers. I thought of the pyramids right away because, we've been trying to figure that out for a long time. And even like little aliens. Yeah, okay. But like this would also help, especially. Especially if they were helped by aliens too. I don't know, but that was your theory, so.
But that's what it's like weird, because they call them the sons of God and the daughters of man, which means, well, I don't know why they say that part like that, but that would mean that they were born by man, but they're created by God.
I think it's just the disparity between men and women, kind of like in the regular Bible. how they're like, man, and then it's like, and then his rib fell, and it started crawling, and it was a woman, which
Yeah, they
caused
were in
all this trouble.
paradise. And then this girl came around, was like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. All right, I'm just like, I'll try to find all different ways to look at this later. We don't have time on this podcast to figure this out.
But yeah, man, yeah, I have to keep searching. There's got to be more. There can't be just one giant. I know every once in a while I get stones thrown at me because they're like, monster. I'm like, no, I'm a person. And they're like, right. But to know that there are other bigger ones out there than me.
You're the little fetus runt that got away.
Yeah, I am a
What is
runt
this?
of a giant. I am a runt of a giant. You are right.
Well, you're a giant to all of us, but to them, you're like a sperm that just like, they're like, and you're like, I'm alive. And they're like, I can't even hear your soft spokenness.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping that one day that they actually find more. And like maybe don't kill it immediately. I don't know.
I mean, really, can everyone just calm the down? Like, yeah, it's giant, but like, okay, I'm a shrimpy compared to it. Are you just gonna kill me? Just gonna kill me?
You're not a threat. They're not going to be like monster.
I mean, people just be, having their own filters on everything. It's like a threat. Maybe that's his way of saying hi in Europe.
I mean, if you think about it, like I highly doubt that even though the team that went missing weren't just like immediately shooting this thing. So that's probably why it was probably like, get out of here, get off my lawn. And they're like, kill it. And then it's like, all right, well, you're dead. I'm gonna attack you. That's why I
Yeah.
killed maybe that team and Dan. But it's like this thing could not have existed this long if it wasn't somewhat peaceful. Maybe it will get aggressive if you like get too close, like it did, like it charged at them and like threatened them just to say, hey, get out of here. But then the guy started firing on him and it defended itself.
Yeah, I think it could have went either way. I don't think the people were very, didn't have a good bedside manner. I'll say that. A little judgmental there. Have we learned nothing?
Apparently not. I mean, I'm just worried what we're gonna do when we first see an alien come down and be like, hey, I'm here to help you all. They're like, kill it now.
I hope at this point we've evolved past that. I mean, obviously not everybody, which is why that hasn't happened yet or not been completely disclosed. But, in terms of these giants, it's like, how come there's people out there like, like dedicated to Sasquatch or Bigfoot or something? Like, it's my soulmate lover. But then when there's a giant, it's like, ew, how dare it get to be so tall? Ginger mofo.
Because the Sasquatch and whatever are like, they're so gentle. They don't want to bother anybody. And the one story we hear about the giants, like, oh yeah, it killed a lot of freaking soldiers. And so I don't think anybody's gonna be like, I'm gonna hunt me a giant. No.
We shouldn't be profiling based on the one headline they made. Like, oh, let's just put out this one headline and then like just try to hide it, like act like we don't want anyone to know. But really what they don't want people to know is how friendly the other giants are. In fact, don't you remember the folklore about the friendly giants or something? Like, weren't there folklore about like, the big friendly giant? Like, isn't that about you? But also like, I don't know. I'm just like, they're not telling us about all the tea they have with them. And you know what? I really hope they're not like utilizing these giants. Oh, I'm really upset if they're like using them.
I hope not, because it's just it's a slippery slope where they're like what they're considering a giant. And because if I existed 100 years ago, I would be in a cage in a zoo, be like, look at the tall monster. He's gonna eat your children. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I just want to live my life. Please get me out of this cage. They're like, look at his babble.
That's a good point. That giant wasn't even approached nicely. What did we expect poor giant Ginger to do?
Well, it wasn't. It approached badly as well. I mean, who's going to be running out of it? Meanwhile, but we don't know what kind of freaking education this poor giant has, so it doesn't know to be like, excuse me, could you please remove yourselves from my property? Thank you so much. Instead, it's like,
Not just that, it's trying to protect itself, probably its family. You know, poor giant Ginger comes out and sees a ton of people with weapons pointed at him. Like, is that cool? How would you feel?
true, but the whole scattering of bones and equipment leads you to believe that maybe he ate those other soldiers.
Wait, what kind of equipment was there?
It was just all kinds of military equipment. There were like random like radio things, guns, all kinds of stuff. There was there were boots and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, so fairly certain that that giant ate those soldiers.
but he didn't like try to eat the soldiers originally, like in this case, right? He was just like, listen, get the out and we good. Is I feel what happened there. And the soldiers were like, no. And he was like, get out. And they were like, no, like I think there was like an argument until one soldier was like, bing, and then the guy got pissed. I mean, wouldn't you?
Or it went like this. He goes, I'm full. Get out of here, we'll sleep. This guy shoots him. He's like, I will take this one. You can all leave now.
Wait, what, Robbie? We have to hear you. Can you articulate better?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I said it came running out, yelled that it was full. They didn't understand it. One of the soldiers decided to shoot it. So it's like, all right, maybe I could have him as a snack. You could all leave. And then they all killed him.
All right. Anything more to say on this?
Yeah, giants' lives matter, people. Can you please stop killing giants? Like we don't know anything about this. If it's in the Bible, maybe there's something to be learned here. Granted, I guess they're soldiers, so their lives, they thought they were threatened, even though it killed a guy or a bunch of guys. Who knows?
Nowadays, everything's a threat, so we should start killing people over it.
I mean, I get it. They're at war at the time.
We're not with the ginger giant. Not with the ginger.
But it's military. They're like shoot first, ask questions later. I
don't know, man. I definitely want that giant ginger alive, dude.
I'd love to find other stories about this, and I really hope that was not the last giant left.
Well, I'm not allowed to suggest what other search engines to go to, but do your research, guys. And yeah, giants' lives do matter. For the sake of your own next door giant ginger that you may not realize you're next door of, please share this video to enhance the awareness throughout for the sake of the giant gingers out there, so that they too may be able to live their giant ginger lives the same way we're living our non-giant ginger lives. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch our next mind expansive, amazing, groundbreaking story. And give this a like, please. That would be amazing if you got anything out of this at all. But either way, tell us in the comments, what do you think? What do you think? If you know anything about giants or the nephilim, or heard about the story, anything like that, please let us know. And also, what would you like to hear? What do you want to know about? We'd love to have you part of our discussion. So please let us know what's up in the comments. For now, how you doing, Giant Tommy?
Just letting everybody know that, yes, we giants have technically large hearts. So don't shoot us in the face immediately. Thank you.
I agree, Tommy. I don't like when things are in my face immediately either. And I'm not even a giant nor a ginger.
All right.
I am just a duck. Anyway, guys, we love having you guys with us. Thank you so much for still being here. And we cannot wait to see you again. We love hanging with you. And namaste. And like I said, look out for those giants. Tell us everything that's mind expanding in these comments. Can't wait to hear from you. Love you. And check out all our playlists. Bye.
Bye, guys.